So yeah, we're getting our first chance to go up against Western State on the RMAC Conference Championship course. So we really wanted to test out and see what the course was like and get a feel for that, and then as well as go up against two teams that are a little bit better than us. They ranked a little higher than we are, and so saw some great things this weekend. Western on the women's side is ranked third in the country, and our women just missed out on snatching that away from them by 1 point without our two top aces. Janelle Links and Brianna Hemming are still being held out for a little bit, so pretty awesome on that side. She's a junior transfer, so she has a little bit of experience in the junior college world. But for her to come in at this level in Division II, and especially within our conference, it's pretty awesome. Her confidence has been really, really high. She's been running with Brianna in every workout, and so I think that's obviously given her a big boost running with the All-American there.
Victoria, she came in, she was the next road runner to kind of finish. She did well at the CSU meet too. So just talk about her performance and what she kind of showed you in this.
Yeah, for sure. So Victoria had some great credentials coming out of junior college as well a couple years ago, came to us, and she had a little trouble adjusting to the altitude right away during her cross-country season last year. And then rolling into this year, she had just dedicated her summer to trying to be prepared as best she possibly could. She actually stayed here for the majority of the summer to get really acclimated to the altitude and everything. And after last week at CSU, her great race there, she came back and obviously showed she can do it at 6K too. So Victoria's doing some awesome things right now. So it'll be fun again to see her also once we hit the championship season and see what she can do.
So you mentioned the altitude. While we were up in altitude here in Denver, it's obviously a little higher. Is there a big difference when you go up to that altitude compared to where we are at altitude?
Yeah, you really can tell. I'd say every 1,000 feet over 5,000, you can really notice a difference, especially when we go down to Gunnison or we go down to Adams and down in Alamosa. They seem to have a little bit of an extra gear, the people that train down there, than we do throughout the year. So we have to do a few things slightly different during training to prepare ourselves. And especially those kids coming in from sea level, they struggle a bit when they come in from sea level, and then 3-4 weeks later they have to go down to Gunnison. So it's tough for them, but when we'll be ready when it counts. So
on the men's side now, what they accomplished this week, they finished third. Obviously, we know the Adams, the tough competition in the RMAC there. What did you see from them?
Yeah, so the guys did a great job. We actually were trying to work on something specific. We're trying to run as a group, just like we did at the CSU meet, but we actually brought in more of our guys this time around. So they did that, and then the second half of the race, they kind of were able to open up a little bit and chase some people. Western is very, very tough. So for us to drop to them this early in the season is not unexpected. I think we can catch them once we get to RMACs and regionals. Guys did a great job. We also have a couple guys there that are a little bit banged up that still haven't raced yet that we're hoping to see in there. Eli Hemming is going to make his debut here in a couple weeks, and I think he'll be really ready to do some special things. But guys did great. We're just looking for a couple of those lower tier guys on our squad to step up and help fill some of the gaps right now.
You talked about running in as a group. What does that do for a team? And we saw, the top two guys on your side, less than 2 seconds, 0.2 of a second came in right when it was. So what does that do for a team?
It gives them some confidence that they are there with a squad as opposed to just doing it for themselves. And they have something to rally around Metro State, be a road runner instead of just being yourself. And it's kind of hard to show that in our sport, in cross country and track and field. It seems to be a lot of individualized efforts. We really want them to come together to support their school, their university, and do the best they possibly can for each other. So we've noticed a big difference there. And as you look at some of the programs in the past, the Adams and the Western and Colorado School of Mines that have been very successful, they've all had strong packs, groups of guys that are running together to push each other a little bit harder. So that's sort of the philosophy we're trying to bring towards our program now in the next few years.
We have like football teams on those schools, so I can only imagine, right? So just talk about Brandon and Jason. Jason was the top finish for you guys, and what you saw from them, what you hope to see going forward with those guys.
Yeah, both those guys have been, again, same sort of thing on them as far as the summer training goes. They trained together pretty much all summer. They lived in the Denver metro area and just were really hitting it pretty hard to they were kind of our lower guys, 6'7" guys last year, and they wanted to step up their game, and they showed it, obviously, because now they've been our 1-2 this week. But yeah, those guys have been doing some great things. I still want to see them do some things in the second half of the race, and I think that'll come with experience with both of those guys. Brandon did get experience last year at the national championships, so I think that's going to help him moving forward. But yeah, as soon as we get rolling into October, November, December should be interesting. See how they can do when we step up to the 10K distance.
So what's next for the team?
Next up is Colorado College. It's a pretty flat course down in Colorado Springs. We went there last year and had some great performances. I think most of our personal bests came from that course. So nice and fast. I think we're gonna hold out a few people from that one so we can really focus on the Oklahoma State meet. That's a huge meet for us. We haven't been to one that big in a number of years. Big Division I competition. I think Oklahoma State right now is ranked in the top 5 in Division I, and they'll have some other good squads there. So those are the next 2 meets coming up, and hopefully we'll see some of our top guns really coming up at Oklahoma State. So.
Anything else you want to add? Anything I missed from this weekend, or anything else you want to add to this particular?
No, I'm just super proud of our athletes, and we're plugging away, and hopefully we can keep representing Metro State in the best way possible.